Hello, all. Winter tires, or winter tires, for those of you who believe in silent T's. Well, let me first welcome you to my humble homestead, humble, it's too cold to speak, humble off-grid homestead in Canada. It's actually not that cold. It's only -8, -15 with the wind chill. Where it could have easily been -20, -25, not including the wind chill. For those of you who don't know what wind chill is, wind chill factor is a measure for how cold feels like to us. Trees don't necessarily feel it because they're in hibernation. Most animals don't feel it because they have their furry winter coats on, and inanimate objects don't feel it because they don't have feelings. Although some of you car owners who name your cars Subis and such might disagree. Yeah, so -8 really for the car and most other things. To us, -15. And nice day, all in all, really, for this time of year. Wonderful day. So, winter tires, what are they? What are winter tires? Do you need them? Oh, what are they made up of? What's the chemical makeup? What's the difference? My understanding is, from the research that I did, is that a winter, you have your summer tires, you have your all-season tires, you have this particular car comes with stock. You may have seen on the tires they write A/T as in all-terrain tires, and then there's winter tires, which is what I have on right now, and then there's snow tires. But basically, before we moved here 11 winters ago, all in my 35 years, well, not that time, it was 25 years at that time of driving, I only had all seasons, which, as the name suggests, you can pretty much drive them in any season, all year round, until they go bald or the walls crack, show signs of wear and fatigue, and then you change them. Oh, and you rotate them once a year or something, so they all wear out evenly or whatever. But 11 years ago, when we moved here, a neighbor told us that we should get winter tires, and we thought, whatever. But that turned out to be one of the best investments we ever made. That winter was the coldest winter that I had experienced in Canada, but even for the local folks here in this particular region. So ever since then, we've gone through, in the 11 years that we've been here, we've gone through, this is the third set, if I'm not mistaken. So what we do is that we keep these winter tires, we put the winter tires on, I should have said we keep the all-season tires on until about, historically, till about November, and then change them over to winter tires till about April, and then we go back to our regular scheduled programming. And winter tires, my understanding is that they have whatever chemicals or something that makes them more elastic. More elastic means that, as you probably know, like a rubber band or elastic band that sometimes wrapped around broccoli or whatever at the store, kind of like that thick, exposed to cold temperatures, they get stiff. And so when they get stiff, when rubber tires get stiff, they don't have the same performance, same plasticity, going over things or whatever. So by putting this extra whatever chemical, whatever the chemical makeup of a winter tire and snow tires are, they make those tires more able to perform, or less likely to, they could take more cold temperatures before they get stiff. Boy, it's cold for me to speak as if I'm usually so articulate. Anyway, so by the same argument or same chemical makeup that makes them more plastic, you also don't want to drive on them when it's warmer. Certainly not in the summer. Certainly not keep it anywhere warm or sunny in the summer, because then it's going to affect those same oils, and they won't last as long. And because they're softer, if you drive them, they'll wear out much sooner. So when I was, I think 6-7 years ago, I was trying to do some research on what manufacturer makes the greenest tires, regardless of winter tire, all-terrain, summer, snow. And I noticed that, and I found out that Continental, by the way, this is not a sponsored video, and I paid full price for these tires. I found that Continental is working on making tires either entirely out of, or in some ratio, I think it was entirely out of, get this, dandelions, which I love. They're one of the best plants for liver detox. Roots. I should do a video on that. Roots and leaves, especially in the springtime. So, and I was wondering, and if you're wondering too, how much dandelion does it take for a set of 4 tires? And my research showed about a garage full. So that's a lot. So have you ever, as a child or even now, if you break off a dandelion flower, the beautiful little yellow flowers, a sort of a whitish liquid sap, whatever you want to call it, comes out. It's sort of like rubber plant. I think that's what they make it out of. That white, sort of a sappy liquid. I'm not sure. I can't remember that. So like I said, it was 6-7 years ago. Basically, it's made in Germany, and pretty much every car that comes out of Germany is on Continental. So I thought, okay, that sounds good. Maybe that's good. Maybe I'll do that. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. What is sorry for yelling in this peaceful, quiet forest. Listen, just a bit of breeze. So I'll try to tone it down. What is the rating though on Continentals? Of course, ratings vary differently based on, again, this is the summer, winter, all season, snow. And I found out that they actually have pretty good ratings. They have a over 99 out of 100 rated for their use. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. Now, some of you know I don't have a lot of resources, so for me to make an investment like a new set of tires, now here we have two sets of tires, and it's not forever. You have to change them every 3 years. So a set of tires would give us basically. Set of winter tires would give us 3 winters. You could probably go longer than that if you don't do a lot of driving, like we don't do, something like 10,000-20,000 a year. But either or not. So anyway, but how much do they cost? So I did some research on that too, my final search, and I noticed that they're fairly comparable in price to all those other car man, Goodyear, Yokohama, Pirelli, and especially though I got these on sale, so they were even less. So I'm grateful because there's also tax on them. So I went with these. This is my second set of Continental winter tires, which I'm happy with. So I'm just going to move the camera around somewhere else so you can see better. Maybe here you can still see from there. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing, and then I'll show you the treads and whatever, if it makes any difference to you. Okay, is that good? Are you? I think you can see. I think you can see the treads. All right, so I'm wearing my snow pants because when I'm out here and I'm moving around shoveling snow, and I can actually sweat. But since I'm just standing still talking to you, it can get cold. By the way, if you ever wondered how you can find out how old a set of tires are, whether you're buying them new or used, if you look at your tires, it says date of what was the T for? Date of T. I can't remember. Date of something. But anyway, that's production or when they made it, and then you follow the numbers, and it says when it was made, or when it's good till, or whatever. And I wanted to know that. So here it says made in Germany, and right here. And at first I thought, well, does Germany make anything anymore, or does anyone make anything anymore? Isn't everything made in China? But I'm actually happy to see that it says made in Germany. Not to say that China doesn't make good stuff. I'm sure they make good stuff too. But I was just happy to see that it said made in Germany. Polar Plus technology, whatever that means, you have to look it up. But it sounds good to me. There are pictures of icicles and snow. And by the way, I think some snow tires adhere to ice. So the snow that we have, this isn't much. Usually it could be up to here, at least a foot. The snow that we have in our neighborhood and region hangs around, starts usually, like I said, late November, and it hangs around for at least a month, if not 2, and if not 3 months. So the roads we don't see the roads for a good month, 2 or 3, in the 15-minute radius from where we are. The closer we get to the more populated areas, the less snow, and then finally the roads are clear. But so I do need these, and if you live somewhere where the conditions are the same, you probably should have winter tires. If you're wondering if you should get them or not, if you're thinking of moving here, or a region like this, you really like northern states of United States. But I'm not just talking about Alaska. I'm talking like Iowa and Montana, those states, close, bordering with Canada. And that's the other thing, folks. These tires aren't necessarily for folks that have snow and they have to drive in snow, or have cars that all-wheel drive. For the grip, it's actually it does more than just when the temperature changes. They somehow more effective, which is what you want. This is the only thing you have between you and the road. And yes, it costs money, and I don't have that kind of money to splurge on things. If it's a necessity, don't take a chance. And especially if you're in a rural, far away from things, you might have roadside assistance, but by the time they get to you and whatever, of course here is pretty friendly, because anyone driving by, once you get pulled over, take a picture. So many cars when we were new here, because you're not used to seeing so many trees, and be pulled over, take some pictures. And people were stopping by, the local folks, and saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Did you have car trouble?" Thinking, what's going on with people here? Now we're one of those folks. Anyway, so it says Polar Plus 225/65 R17. That just has to do with, so for instance, 225 meaning how wide this is. I mean, some of you already know this. 65R17. 17-inch refers to the diameter of your rim. Now, I strongly suggest that if you are in a country, even, it doesn't even have to be rural. The roads are not the same as in the city. The smaller this diameter, this metal part, aluminum, steel, whatever you have, this is, rather than the rubber, the smaller this is, the more rubber you have. Do you know what I mean? So the smaller this gets, the more, obviously, the rubber is more. And now, as opposed to some fancier cars have bigger rims, and they're like 19, 20, 21. So the bigger this gets, the rubber gets, you get less of rubber. Maybe you only get this much rubber, like an inch or two. In that case, you feel all the bumps, all the potholes, all the rough roads. But if in exchange, though, the bigger the rubber is, the more your fuel efficiency is reduced in the highway. In my case, I'll take comfort over that little bit of a fuel efficiency. So this is 17. Most cars are 17 or 18. SUVs, then you go maybe 18 or 19 or whatever, depends on how fancy your SUV is. I'm trying to see what else I can find on this to tell you. If there's anything else that you should know. Radial, tubeless, extra load. So it's this extra load, but if you have an EV, I don't know if this would work on your EV. My understanding is that EVs are 40% heavier, so I think you have to get a special tire for your EV. And if I'm wrong, folks, some of you know more than me. All of you probably know more than me. Let me know. But my understanding is that if it says extra load, maybe it's not the same as EV. Maybe EVs would just say EVs on them. This is not an EV. I would buy an EV if I could afford it, but I can't. So, yeah. I hope this was helpful to you, finding out whether you need a winter tire or not. I'm just looking at these treads, and this is brand new. To some of you, it's like having a new pair of shoes. And for me, I like tires. They feel so much cushier, and you feel just, you know how, I'm guessing, you know how if you ever had like a nice outfit or a fancy jacket or shoes, or whatever, you feel more confident. That's what new set of tires and a new car. It's not a new car. This is 3 years old, but it's new to me. It feels like I'm more confident being out when I'm driving. If anyone's interested, you folks, for your car, or even Continental, if you want to know about long-term drive of these, how they perform in this isn't even cold, like I said, when it's 2, 3, 4, 5 times colder than this. I don't know. We'll get that this year. Not that I'm looking for it or looking forward to it, but I hope we don't get it. But if we should, we're ready. All right, folks. Stay warm, and if you don't have the snow, keep watching my shows. You'll see some here. And then when I can afford to, if I can afford to buy a dash cam, and then when I go into town once or twice a week, I can show you the scenery from around here, and also maybe you'll be able to hear and feel the ride through that camera. Not sure as I drive on rural roads. Namaste.